Messick's, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Messick's here with today's 3-Minute Thursday. Today we're going to have a short conversation about the direction that I see some pricing things headed in the equipment industry. Some months ago, I did a video on how to get your best deal and when the best time was to buy a piece of equipment. And that was really done from the perspective of manufacturer programming, of when they choose to put certain amounts of money kind of into the deal in order to make pricing attractive. And in the case of that video, we really kind of explained that a lot of times the pricing isn't necessarily changing as much as you might think. Say, the sum of money offered to you in the sale of a tractor really doesn't change that much. It's just a difference of how the manufacturers choose to slice the pie at the time, whether that's giving, a lot of discounts and financing or discounts on the price of the tractor, but ultimately there's not huge shifts and swings. One thing that we've seen happening here in the last couple of months, and some things that you may have been hearing in the news, have been a lot of changes in economics that are really kind of all compounding on the tractor industry in a lot of different ways. If you go through and say steel costs have been shifting with all the trade issues we've been having with China lately, and steel prices ratchet up and up and up. A lot of our manufacturers, particularly the ones that are into implements and buckets and really like dumb metal type iron attachments, have come out with steel surcharges or price increases already, typically about 2 to 7% or so in order to cover those added costs. However, the major manufacturers, your Kubotas, your Cases, your New Hollands, your Kerns, those big guys, to this point have absorbed those costs in this selling season so far. However, all the chatter that we're hearing out there is that those prices are eventually going to work their way into the cost of equipment, causing the base cost of a lot of the pieces that we're selling to rise. Compounding on steel is also freight and trucking costs. Finding truck drivers right now is phenomenally difficult. We've been looking for two ourselves for a long time. We're hearing from a lot of our vendors that they're having trouble finding help, and so those employment costs are rising. Along with the trucking, their fuel costs have gone up now as well, and so the cost of every one of those miles that equipment has to be moved around is going up. So freight, fuel, labor, steel, financing costs. The Fed has now raised base finance rates, I think 3 basis points now since the beginning of the year. So the amount of money that the vendors are borrowing in order to offer you that 0% financing is now more expensive. So we're going to start to see here, probably in the next several months, financing being pulled back, base prices for equipment going up. So if I was to kind of revisit that video from months ago saying when is the best time to buy, right now I'm telling you it's now. The next several, say, year or so in the equipment industry is going to be interesting. We're going to start to see some shifting prices, shifting finance rates, and it'll be interesting to see how all of that plays out. Particular parts of the market right now, say small tractors and construction equipment, are hot. A lot of equipment is being sold. The market is doing very, very well, but particular portions of agriculture are really struggling. So it's going to be interesting to watch over the next year or so and see exactly how all these costs are absorbed and how it plays out to the manufacturer's bottom line. So if you're in the market for a piece of equipment and we can help you pull the trigger on one of those pieces now, give us a call at Messick's, 800-222-3373, or online at Messick's.com.